Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Truth Bumps. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Let me just make sure I can get the comments up here. There we go. Hi, everyone. So Truth Bumps is a weekly show that I do to bring topics of discussion, practices, and other tools or topics that will help us connect to ourselves and therefore connect us to the other side as well. So it's balancing and adding that practice of spirituality plus paranormal, other side, otherworldly aspects. Whenever we sit down and we're having a conversation and we're talking about something and your body just gets those shivers down your spine or up your head, and you just know that what you just heard absolutely resonates with you, that is called a truth bump. That's the universe's way of asking you to lean in and pay attention to your surroundings because there's deeper messages there for you. So welcome, everyone. I see everyone coming in. Hi, Nida. Hi, Danny, Julie, Barbara, Greg. So good to see you guys. Hi, Scotty. Thank you all so much for joining. I'm very excited about tonight's topic, which is meditation and why not to roll your eyes at it. Tonight, we're going to cover some basic meditation 101 principles and practices so that we can come together and discuss a little bit more about your experiences, my experiences, and why it really is a benefit to keep this as a practice and why sometimes we resist it. And then towards the end of the show, I'm actually going to lead us through a little guided meditation that will help us ground, cleanse, and protect. And so that'll be a real treat. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jen. Thanks for joining. Hi, Sharon. All right. So meditation, what is it? What is meditation? It's an ancient practice. It's been around for ages. I'm sure everyone that's tuning in tonight or in the replay in the future has been called and asked to meditate at one point in time in their life. It's not always an easy practice to pick up just like that. And so sometimes we get a little bit frustrated around developing good habits behind meditation. And I think part of the reason why we resist it is that we don't actually buy in or know the benefit of meditation. So anytime we're developing a new habit, and, again, I'm using some cliche phrases here that sometimes people are like, habits, I don't want it. I understand, I do. But there really is a beautiful benefit to this practice that if you can adopt it, or when you adopt it and you make it part of your daily, almost like spiritual hygiene, the benefits really are amazing. The benefits are very personal to each person, which is the reason why you don't see, I think, meditation marketed in commercials, because they can't guarantee everyone will receive A, B, and C. It's more like one person might receive E, G, and F, or another person might receive Z, B, and Q. And it doesn't matter what the outcome is. All that is really important is that it's very personal to you and beneficial, putting you right in the right place at the right time, doing what you need to do at that moment. So as I'm kind of going through some of the topics tonight, feel free to share some of your personal experiences with meditation. If you have any particular questions, definitely welcome those, because not only am I here, but there are several meditation gurus and specialists in the audience tonight. This is a great opportunity to really, understand where you're at and address any issues that you might be having. I'm also using a new microphone tonight, so hopefully the cricket is gone. But if somebody can confirm that, if they ever hear the cricket tonight, just let me know in the comments so that I can continue to troubleshoot that. Okay, so meditation is a practice of mindfulness. And what that means is we have a tendency to get carried away and lost through our day. And we have a tendency to let our thoughts just kind of rumble around and immediately take over. It's almost like little gremlins that are up in our head. And eventually, thanks, Sharon, eventually they just start driving. And what happens is when these little gremlins start driving, which are our thoughts, it really kind of dictates where our day goes. It dictates the decisions that we make, the biases that we have, the assumptions that we make. I've read and had personal countless experiences of where an assumption I've made about a story in my head turned out to be completely false. And yet there were decisions that I made based on that false belief. So what happens is we lose track of our thoughts, and all of a sudden we start rambling on one thought, and maybe that blossoms into a what if. And then that what if story might even unfold more into a full-blown story that you're telling yourself and that you're starting to believe. So an example might be you haven't heard from somebody in a long time. And one day you're just going along your day and the thought enters your head, wow, I haven't heard from them. I hope nothing bad has happened. Or what if they're angry at me and I don't know it? And then that what if starts playing around with some of the memories. And then you start asking, well, what was the last thing we said? When was the last time we met? And then your fear starts to build up on that. And all of a sudden you have created a story in your head where the last time you met, you said something that was innocent, but yet your friend took it the wrong way. And now they're a bad friend, when none of this is true. Let me see some hands if you're ever guilty of that. I know that the what if game and the assumptions, it can get crazy sometimes. Meditation is one of those things that if you practice daily, you can quickly catch those thoughts at the what if stage. Oh, there's a thought that comes into my head. And you can even just, you can catch it at the thought stage. That's a thought. You acknowledge the thought, you let the thought pass on, and it doesn't grow into anything further like a what if statement or a story. It does take practice to develop this. Like any other good habit, we're not always good at meditating right from the start. And because it is relatively simple in its concept, I think we expect ourselves to pick it up just like that. And when we don't, then we're like, oh, this is ridiculous. It's not worth our time. I just don't even want to bother with this. And oh, this is a great excuse. I don't have time. I don't have time to meditate for only 5 minutes a day. Just 5 minutes a day would make a huge world of difference. If you don't have time to spare 5 minutes in your day, your planner must look like a subway system, really hard to keep up with and concentrate on. So I'm going to challenge some of the thoughts and the excuses that we use around meditation tonight. And I just ask you to be open with it. And if you have any questions around some of the things that I'm bringing up, again, feel free to pop those into the comments. Oh, Julie, I totally hear you. For years, I stuck on a what if game and didn't even realize what I was doing. And then once I realized just how often it was happening and how connected it was to the decisions that I made, man, it just blew my mind. And I made a commitment then and there to always try and be cognizant of the thoughts going through my head. Thank you for sharing that. So it's a training. Meditation is a training. We're actually training ourselves in two things, awareness and attention. Now, in previous shows, especially the one that I did a couple weeks ago around psychic development, one of the biggest things that I asked of that show is to really be aware of your experiences. You have to be mindful moment to moment to catch repeating numbers or a placed feather that doesn't make sense to you logically. And then if there's ever a sensation that you have in your body, if there's ever a message that you're receiving, in your gifts, through your gifts, you would never, ever actually pick it up, or it's less likely that you'll pick it up unless you're being present in that moment and aware of your surroundings. So what meditation does is it helps train our mind to be still. Now, that's not thoughtless. We'll get to that in just a moment, but just to practice stillness. And if that seems overwhelming to anyone, don't worry, you're not alone. What I mean by stillness is not complete stillness. I'm not talking about level 700 meditation monk guru type of stillness. I'm only talking about the ability that if you're in the moment and you're trying to meditate and you have a thought come into your head, that you just acknowledge the thought and bring it back, bring yourself or your awareness back to the present moment. It really is that simple, but I know that it can get frustrating. So especially if you're developing your psychic abilities, or especially if you're into the paranormal and ghost hunting, this awareness and this meditation practice will help you absolutely blossom in those areas. But there's so many other benefits as well. It's literally like a spa for your spiritual, mental, and emotional health. So if you are ever looking for a way to disconnect from stress and reconnect to yourself or reconnect to a divine power, meditation literally is the way to do that. So before we go any further, I just want to talk a little bit about the different terms of meditation, astral projection, and shamanic journeying. Each one is slightly different. And I don't intend to go deeply into astral projection or shamanic journeying, because not only am I not the most qualified, like I have so many other people that I could guest on the show for those topics, but I really just want to stick to the basics of meditation 101 tonight. But to know that those topics or those terms are out there, they're a little bit different. So astral projection is actually like a deepening meditative practice, and it's where you are literally having like out-of-body experiences and traveling out of your body in a practiced way. And then shamanic journeying is where you're almost encouraged to imagine. So when meditation, you're trying to acknowledge your thoughts and bring your focus back to center. In shamanic journeying, you're actually using your divine and sacred imagination and working with spirit to have some experiences and messages come up through that experience. It usually involves some kind of drum beat or shake or rattle. And then there's, if anyone's interested in learning more about shamanic practices, we do have a Psychics Unite shamanic group that you can join, and we'll be posting more about that in the future. But meditation is just a little bit different. It's really just about the mindfulness and bringing yourself back to that present moment. And Scotty, I agree, the base of inner peace. All right, so why should we meditate? Again, our thoughts are like a wild child that if you don't try to add boundaries to, they will just carry away and make us lose ourselves in the moment and probably cause some unnecessary stress and worry and fear in the end. So in that moment when we're working away and all of a sudden we might notice that our heartbeat is racing or that we're having some severe anxiety, it's a great opportunity to check in with your thoughts and see if they're what frequency they're on. Last week we talked a little bit about vibrations of emotions and how some of the lower base vibrations can really start to pull us down. While our thoughts are directly tied to our emotions, they kind of drive and can mold how we feel in any moment. So that's a great question. What are the best ways to make thoughts go away? You don't make thoughts go away. There's a great phrase, what we resist persists. And so what that means is that, and you can even use that phrase in everyday life. So what I mean is, let's say that your favorite TV show gets canceled. Now, ultimately, there's nothing you can do about that. But if you don't accept it right away and you start resisting against that, it's going to cause you to kind of go into a spiral. And then that TV show and the loss of that is going to be what you focus on. So when we talk about our thoughts and when we receive them, the best thing to do is just to acknowledge the thought and let it go. So if I'm sitting here in a moment and I'm meditating, and all of a sudden I have the thought, I got to get bananas. I'm going to say, thank you for that thought. And then I'm going to bring myself back to my breath or my mantra, or sometimes we can focus on the inside of our third eye, wherever you're bringing your focus to, just bring your focus back to that. And then in a few seconds, when you're talking about, I got to change over the laundry, acknowledge the thought, thank it, let it go, and then bring your focus back. It gets a little tedious at first, but I promise you with practice, it does get better. Yep. Greg, you're right. Scotty teaches in his meditation that one of the things that you can do is you can imagine like there's a little basket next to you. If you have a thought, just put it in the basket and put a lid on it. Another thing that I personally like to do is I'll pretend when I'm meditating, sometimes I pretend that I'm sitting next to a brook or a stream. And whenever there's a thought that enters my head, it feels like a leaf in my hand, and I just allow the leaf to drop into the water and float on down the stream. So that's a great metaphor for acknowledging that you have this item or this thought, and you're placing it into something and just letting it flow on its way, so that you can bring your attention back to the present moment. It really does. I know that's not what we want to hear, especially for something that takes some time, but it's like just a little bit of time and you get this huge benefit and this reward. It's meditation is really that powerful. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you. Okay, so let's see here. I've got some notes. Okay, here's a big one. Here's a big reason to meditate. A lot of us who have started a meditation practice are doing really good. And, maybe we've meditated daily for a week or two and we're having amazing insights and we're feeling super connected and super jazzed. And then something big happens and we get distracted. And we might take a couple days or a week off from meditating. And then all of a sudden we start to feel disconnected again or alone. And notice I said feel disconnected because we're never, ever truly disconnected. It's only our perception of it. So when we're in a moment that we feel alone, especially right now where things are happening differently state by state, this time of year around Christmas, there may be some traditions that we can't honor or fulfill, and it might be kind of making us feel a little isolated. Meditation opens us up to receive that direct connection to our divine. Again, we're always connected. Divine is always there. They're never going away. Our spirit guide, spirit, God, the universe, they're always there and present. But sometimes we kind of close a little bit. We have the power to open it right back up. And meditation's kind of like a phone call that says, oh my God, I gotta talk. Get some tea and pull up a seat, because this is the way that you make that connection and build the relationship. And then just with a few short days, or even after one meditation session, you start to feel that connection again and that divine love. What actually happens in those moments when we meditate and we're actively building our connection to Source, we are tapping into that divine love and that connection of universal love. And again, it sounds cheesy, but it is what it is. Like, everything in life can be based on whether it's fear-based or love-based. And I think we are all working on trying to shift our fear to love. I know I am personally. And that's another practice. But meditation is one of those keys that allows you to tap in directly into the love that you need to be able to shift those moments, that when you get into a moment that's fearful, you can easily say, God, I give this up to you. Thank you for allowing me to shift this to a teacher of love. So it's not that we're disconnected. It's just that we're moving, again, vibrationally down, away from love and toward fear in those moments. Fear being worry, concern. There's like 1,000,001 ways to describe the base emotion of fear. But meditation really does help us to lift us back up and get us back aligned into that level of love where we meet the divine. Let's see. Thanks, Melba. I'm so glad you think so. Awesome. So in those moments that life gets away, again, don't get frustrated. Don't feel like you're hopeless. It's just a matter of tuning in your radio dial and getting back into the right alignment for that feeling of connection. Meditation absolutely promotes peace, calm, and happiness. So people who meditate on a regular basis, in those moments of stress, it helps them bring back their focus. So again, during the day, we spill coffee, we want to cuss and get really angry and let it ruin our day. I mentioned this in the last week's episode about reclaiming your power. But with a healthy meditation practice, we can stop ourselves in that moment. I know, like, when I get upset, I just want to talk like a sailor, because I think that's healthy sometimes and it's always fun. But when I'm in a practice meditation state, I can stop myself in that second, take a deep breath and say, wow, that sucks, but it's going to be okay. It's not the end of my day. And I can clean up and go on about it. And that's true really for anything. I used a cup of coffee, but I've used it for things as severe as car accidents that didn't have any injuries. I was always so grateful that there were no injuries. And that's what I focused on instead of the loss of the car or the trauma of the accident. It can be used for anything. But that meditation and that mindfulness that you develop with it, it is a lifesaver in those moments. And then outside of those moments, you can quickly recover, bring yourself back to peace and happiness, and maybe even have a sense of humor over what happened, which always helps to, alleviate any of the severely strong negative feelings that are coming up in that moment. Yes, we do. They're just fun to say sometimes, and that's okay. All right. So Now, how to meditate? There's no real right or wrong way to meditate. There are some basic concepts to keep in mind if you want to get the most benefit out of it. I'll share a couple of popular types of meditation, and then take any questions that you guys might have on those. So first one is a mindfulness meditation. And this is the one that is easiest for anyone to do who may not have someone helping them or guiding them. A mindfulness meditation is literally when you're just taking a few minutes to focus on one thing. Now, a really popular thing to focus on is your breath. So breathing in and out, in and out. Some people like to count this, counting your breath in and out. Or some people just like to focus on the breath in and out. You would sit in a comfortable position. You can either sit with your feet on the floor. I've laid down before, or you can sit with your legs crossed on your bed or on your floor, whatever is most comfortable to you without allowing you to fall asleep. And so when we're focusing on our breath, we just want to sit in a comfortable position and close our eyes and take a few deep breaths to ground. And so you take a deep breath into your belly and you exhale slowly. And you may take that 2 to 3 times, and then you just kind of return back to your normal breathing pattern. And you are literally just focusing on what it feels like to breathe. Some people like to focus on their breath in through their nose and out through their mouth. Some people just like to focus on both in and out. But this is a time for you to focus on what it feels like for the air to actually enter your body and actually exit. More practiced at this, if you get a little bit more practice at this, you can actually travel the air down into your lungs and then all the way back up out. And then you can practice breathing in love, connection, peace, and happiness, and exhaling fear, worry, and any energy that no longer serves you. Those are a couple ways to do a mindfulness practice. You can also do a mindfulness meditation on focusing on just a simple object. So this might be a picture on your wall. And you would take a deep breath, and obviously you wouldn't close your eyes with this, but you would just focus on the picture on the wall. And with either practice, you want to notice any thoughts that come in, thank them, allow them to flow on down the river, or put them in a basket, or allow them to fly off, like releasing a balloon. And then bring your focus back to either your breath or the picture on the wall or whatever you're focusing on. Could be crystal or a gem. That would be an amazing thing to focus on. Like I've got this beautiful piece of rose quartz. And then there's a selenite tower here. Any of these would be amazing pieces to focus on. So that's the mindfulness meditation. Another type of mindful meditation is actually mindful eating. So especially any of us who work with emotional eating, or I think a big culture in American U.S. diet is to eat mindlessly as quickly as possible and consume as much as possible. Mindful eating is a fantastic practice to help bring your attention back to the practice of eating. And so this is also using all 5 of your senses: smelling the food, tasting the food, being aware of how the food feels in your body. There's a whole slew of information on the internet about mindful eating. And if anyone's interested in a show on that specifically, I can do that down the road. But that's another practice to be mindful and meditate. There's also mantra meditations. This is a really good one. I would actually recommend someone starting out with this if they're having a hard time with releasing their thoughts. Mantra meditations are very similar to mindfulness, only instead of focusing on your breath or an item, you're actually focusing on a mantra. A popular mantra is Om. And so when you take a deep breath and you sit comfortably, you would sit there and you would literally, you can either do it in your head or out loud. You would sit there and you would literally say, Om, Om. And I can't imagine how funny that looks. The good thing is that when you do it, you won't be in a room in front of a video camera. But it helps you to focus on that positive vibrational mantra. I forget, if anyone knows, can you please post it for me? I forget what Om means, but another mantra that you can use is Soham, Soham, or Sohum, Sohum, which both means I am. So it's like, I am love, I am powerful, I am perfect. Either one of those are beautiful mantras to use in your meditation. You can also Google for more mantras. There's millions, and you can make up your own by, just I am loved or I am love. Just set a timer for 5 minutes on any one of these practices and try them out. I think you'd be surprised on how quickly that 5 minutes goes. I did Soham this morning for 5 minutes, and it only felt like 60 seconds. So any one of these will help you get started, and then you can branch off to some of the other ones. Oh, thank you so much, Jen. Perfect. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Another meditation is movement meditation. So a lot of times, ever feel like you're doing something and you're just getting into the zen of it, that becomes like a movement meditation, a really popular one. Obviously, you've got yoga, qigong. Those are like ancient practices where you are moving your body in precise, specific matters, but concentrating on your breath and the sensations in your body at the time. Another one, though, a real basic meditation is walking. Go to a park or nature and just clear your mind. Focus on each step as you take it. Focus on the way your foot rolls on the ground, the sounds that you hear, anything but the thoughts that come to your head. And again, when they do come, you just thank them, let them go, and continue to bring your focus back to how your feet are moving, what you're feeling in your body, any sensations that are coming up. With any one of these practices, you always want to notice the sensations in your body. So it's really helping you get out of your head down into your body where you can feel more. Let's see. Okay, and then you've got like a body scan meditation. This is really good at night if you are having a hard time falling asleep. I've used this before if I'm restless and having a hard time relaxing, but ideally you can either sit or lay down for this body scan meditation. And after you take some deep breaths and you kind of ground yourself into your space, you can start at the back of your eyes and travel inward through your body and down the back of your neck and into your chest and down on through all the way down to your toes, and just notice what sensations might reside there. Sometimes they show up as vibrations. It might show up as a really harsh vibration or just a light vibration. Sometimes it shows up as patterns or colors or shapes, textures, temperatures. Any one of those sensations can pop up into your body. It might be in your shoulder. It might be in your solar plexus, which is right above your belly button. It could be down around your knee. And when you're more practiced, at first I would say just, acknowledge that it's there, thank it for being there and the messages that it has for you, and continue to scan on. But the more practiced you are, you can actually have a conversation with those sensations and ask them, what messages do you have? What do you want me to know? And just like any of our other psychic abilities, you always take the first response or impression that you receive, and you take it with love and you thank them and you release it. Another way to do a body scan or progression is to practice tightening certain muscle groups and then releasing them. So what I like to do is I like to start from my toes up, and basically I will physically tighten my toes and then relax them. And then I will flex my feet and then relax them. Tighten my calf muscles and then relax them. I'm doing this as I say it. Tighten your thighs and your buttocks and then relax them. And if you just tighten and you hold it and then you relax it, by the time you get up through your head and your neck and your shoulders, you should have this overall sensation of relaxfulness and peace. And that it sets you up beautifully for a great night's sleep. There is also meditations on loving kindness and gratitude. Loving kindness and gratitude meditation are very similar, where you are opening yourself up to give and receive either loving kindness or gratitude. So this is really good if you're having a moment where you're having a disagreement or an argument with someone. This is a fantastic time for you to practice receiving loving kindness from the universe and actually offering it to other people, or receiving loving kindness from other people and offering it out to the world. We need more unity, and we need more helping of each other and being on the same page. And even if we come to disagreements, knowing that we love each other still, because ultimately we do. When we, again, move away from love and down into fear, that's when separation happens, you versus me, arguments. Scotty did a great job talking about this and exemplifying it in his show last night. If anyone didn't catch his show last night, absolutely go back and watch the replay. It's fantastic. But just because we have differences of opinions doesn't mean we need to automatically start a war over it. And meditations like love and kindness can absolutely help us bring us back to a place where we don't feel threatened anymore, because we're both equally receiving love and giving it out. Gratitude is similar, only you're being thankful for everything that's in your life that you're grateful for. This can be as big as the home that you are in, or the promotion that you received, or as little as the cup of coffee that's at your feet or your hands. I don't know who would be drinking coffee with their feet, but if you do, welcome. There's no judgment here. So I've talked about gratitude before. I can't express enough how important it is. I think it's right up there with meditation when we're talking about keeping our energy at a certain level and a certain quality. And always just thanking each other, thanking ourselves. There have been times where I've thanked myself for handling certain situations in a certain way. Thanking the universe, obviously, your spirit guides, they love to be acknowledged and thanked. Even if you don't know them by name or face, get into the practice of thanking your guides. Thank you for being there. Even if I don't always acknowledge you, I promise you I try. That's a fantastic way to start building a relationship with them. Got off topic there for a second. Sorry. And so the last type of meditation I'll cover tonight is visualization. We've all heard of this, especially if we're trying to manifest. It's a great time to actually visualize what you desire, and not just what you desire, but actually having what you desire. So if you want a sporty little red car, imagining yourself sitting in it and driving up and down the road in it, but not just imagining that, again, using all of your five senses to smell the new interior and to hear the sound of the engine, to feel the wind in your face if it's a convertible, to hear the music that's playing, to feel in your heart what it feels like to be in that moment and in that car. You start to use all of your five senses and you visualize on some of those things, then you start to bring it into to yourself. With as much detail as possible. That's important. So again, meditation's not a place to judge our thoughts. Sometimes we might be in the middle of a meditation and we'll have a really radical thought, and you want to stop in the meditation, like, what the hell was that? Where did that come from? But that's not the place to analyze that. It's, again, you just want to acknowledge it. Okay, I had a thought, and then you let it go. Here's another big one that I think is really tricky for some of us who are really early into our meditation practice. Always practice meditation without an expectation. So sometimes when we start meditating, and especially if we're working with meditations that help us connect to our spirit guides, which there are, we'll have these amazing experiences up front. Like, we'll get names, we'll get faces. We walk away feeling absolutely on cloud nine, like we've just been dipped headfirst into a big pool of love, and it's amazing. But not every meditation experience is going to be like that. And so the next time we have a meditation practice and we're like, nothing really happened. I didn't get any messages, or I got a sensation in my hand, but that was it. Then we get disappointed. It's really important that we come to a meditation practice without expectation. We don't want to assume that we're going to have the same type of experience with every meditation. Meditation is like its own entity. It's, you're only going to get the messages that you need for that day, not necessarily the messages that you want, which is a really big truth in the spiritual community. Like, I for years I read tarot, and I can't tell you how many times someone would sit down and be like, I want to know if he loves me. But the messages that the cards were coming up with, listen, girl, you can't pay attention to him. You got to start paying attention to yourself. And now I understand, we want to address the question and stuff like that. But sometimes the fact of the matter is, the message that we need to hear the most is not always the one that we want. And it's true for meditation. The same is true for meditation. Your only intention for meditation should be to practice focus, receive any messages that come up, and, realign or reconnect to the divine. Unless you're doing a specialty meditation practice, then the intentions would match that as well on top of those basic ones. Let's see. So then, you might be asking, well, how long do I meditate? How often do I meditate? I think it's really important to meditate every day, but for how long is really up to you. I think if you're having a super challenge with getting into meditation, just start off with 30 seconds. And you might be like, Devin, that's stupid, but it's not. Literally set a timer for 30 seconds and do nothing but focus on your breathing for 30 seconds. If that feels too easy for you, try 45 seconds. And then continue to increase it and try and get yourself up to 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day, I think, is where the magic happens. And if you are feeling really inclined, doing a meditation similar to what we're about to do together in the morning and in the evening will do wonders to help you not only focus and remain in that moment, but also continuously take responsibility for the quality of your energy by cleansing, grounding, and protecting. So I would say that the mindfulness meditations are really good to begin with, and then once you go from mindfulness, you can even start a guided meditation. Now, a guided meditation is similar what I'm going to be going to take you on tonight. It can be a full-blown story, depending on what the purpose of the guided meditation is. I've had guided meditations that help you meet your spirit guides. I've had guided meditations that help you align to your divine purpose. I've had guided meditations that help you go down into your inner temple. These are all meditations that I've practiced before in the past and had some pretty unique experiences on. Tonight's meditation is going to be around cleansing, protecting, and grounding. And so it's not necessarily a story, but I will walk you through some images that will help you continue to follow along. Oh, thank you, Greg. Thank you so much. Kelly, this is a great question. Thank you, because I actually meant to cover this and I don't think I have yet. So here's the thing about falling asleep during meditation. If you're falling asleep during meditation, I would try to make yourself as not uncomfortable, but less like sleepy comfortable. So I don't know. Let me know, Kelly. Are you meditating by any chance when you're laying down or sitting up? Because one big thing that we can always do is make sure that we are sitting up. And then another thing that you can do from helping to fall asleep is if you're having this experience while you're sitting up, try sitting at the edge of your bed instead of up against the back of a chair. I sometimes will fall asleep during my meditation if it's the first thing I do in the morning before I've woken up. I found that in the morning, I have a better chance of getting up, walking my dog, maybe getting a full glass of water or celery juice or banana or whatever, and just taking 30 minutes to wake up. And then I'll go back into a meditation practice or sitting where I'm meditating. But if I just wake up and I feel like I'm awake and I lay there in bed and I try to meditate, I'm out. I'll fall asleep. You could try with a fan on your face if you're to make yourself a little bit chilly. I mean, it sounds weird, but they'll do that with infants that are feeding and fall asleep during feeding. They need them to stay awake. You could also try it standing up. If you're having a hard time sitting, try it standing up. Just, practicing some of the meditations that we did tonight or covered. Oh no, Jen. Don't fall. If you're, please don't fall. If you think that you might be meditating standing up and like literally you're that sleepy, then this meditation might not be the basic thing that you need right now. It might be genuine rest, I would think. And I welcome anyone else if you've got some suggestions here. But I think that if you're having a hard time to stay awake in that moment, either by sitting up without a back or even by standing, try a walking meditation. Again, focusing each step that you take, the noises around you, the sensations in your body. Oh, good, Kelly. I'm so glad. Let me know, you guys, let me know how these practices turn out. You can message me on Facebook. And Greg, I do that all the time. Yeah, I always know when I've fallen asleep during meditation because I wake myself up snoring. I mean, we get real on this show. So, yeah, if we're too comfortable, because it is such a relaxing practice, we'll just easily fall asleep. You kind of want to put your body into a natural position, stand up, sit up straight, which we'll practice here now. No, I think other than Laura, I think other than the frustration people have around the thoughts that come in and out of their heads and what to do with those, this would be the second most common challenge that I hear people have. So you're definitely not alone. It just takes practice. So it's very important that even if we try to get frustrated or we start to get frustrated, just be easy with yourself. Just give yourself a little hug and say, you know what, it's all right. We're going to try again in a little bit or tomorrow, and just keep trying until you get it. It's like riding a bike. You don't always quite get it the first time. Sometimes it takes a little while, and everyone rides at their own or learns at their own pace. And you just got to enjoy the experience. All right. So if everyone's ready, we're going to do a guided meditation together. And so this is one that I like to practice quite often when I am cleansing and protecting. but also grounding, which are the three, I think, main things that I could recommend to anyone in the moment when they're feeling a little bit off and disconnected. Thank you, Laura. Good. Me too. I'm ready to. So let's just get started and sit down in your seat. You can either, if you're on the floor with your legs crossed or in a chair like I am, and just roll your shoulders back and sit with your hands facing palm up on your lap. And go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. And take another deep breath in through your nose. Try to get down in your belly. Stretch your belly downward and out. Get it deeper than the last. And exhale. Noticing any sensations in your chest and your legs. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale. And now just let your natural breathing fall back into its rhythm. And focus on the breath in through the nose, out through the nose, in and out. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ground. So wherever you're sitting, I ask you to imagine there are tree roots growing from your feet and your bottom down into the earth. And it's going through the floor, down through the basement if there is one, the crawl space, all the way down through to the earth. And it's traveling at a fast pace. The tree roots are going through all of the minerals, the crystals, the rocks, all the way down into the center of the earth. And again, if you have any thoughts, just let them go. Bring yourself back to the roots that are growing from you down through the center of the earth. And they quickly go down and they break through to the center where there is this beautiful golden green energy and light that's Mother Earth. And now we are rooted to Mother Earth and connected here, receiving the healing love of Mother Earth. And as our roots tap down into that golden green light, it travels back up into and back to us. Just as our tree friends and plant friends receive nutrients and water from the earth, so do we receive nutrients of the earth energy. And it comes up through our feet, up through our legs and our torso. It travels through our arms and through the back of our neck and in through our head, filling us up, healing us. Take a deep breath in and exhale, accepting all of this beautiful healing energy. And now we're going to take this energy and we're going to extend it up through our head, up into the heavens, in a white-yellow column of pure energy and light. And we're going to stretch and reach up through the roof, up through the trees, up through the clouds and the atmosphere into space until we reach to where we can see the sun. And we're going to open our energy up like a tree canopy. And just like the leaves of a tree, it receives the golden healing energy of the sun. And it travels back down into the column to reach us and fill us with vibrant energy, renewal, rejuvenation, warmth, playfulness, joyfulness. And just allow the energies to mix to provide complete healing, complete awareness and love. And know that we're all connected. Everyone here right now, everyone is connected, giving and receiving this beautiful healing love. And with this energy, we are protected, we are grounded. We release any negative energy that no longer serves us. These energies push out any remaining residual energy without a purpose. We let go of any of the tensions of the day. We give up any fear we have to God. And we just bask in the energies that we receive in this moment. And feel free to bask here as long as you want, receiving and noticing any impressions that you have in your body, any messages that you may get, and just feeling the pure divine love. And when you're ready, bring your attention back to your breath. In and out. In and out. Begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers, bringing yourself back into the present moment and back into your room. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How was that for everyone? What do you guys think? Any impressions? Have problems with thoughts? Let me know in the comments. So glad to see everyone still here. Sometimes I wondered if I'd lose anyone. So let me know what you guys thought about that practice, what you liked about it, what you'd like differently. So glad and so grateful to have the experience to be able to share this with everyone. So I really do hope that you have found it beneficial. Oh, Kelly, I'm so glad to hear it. Beautiful. Wonderful. Yeah. Share it. Well, at least it's not a cricket this time. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Oh, Greg, you're getting called out. Oh, Nida. Okay. So, would love to hear a little bit more about that, and what you experience when you leave your body. If you're up to sharing either now or, hit me up in a private message. I think you had actually asked about that in astral travel a couple weeks ago, and I promised more information on it. So, yeah, if anyone feels like they're like the moment that they start going down into meditation and leaving their body, oh, wonder. I'm so glad, guys. Thank you. But anytime that you are having a hard time staying in your body during meditation, either because you're falling asleep or because you're actually leaving your body and doing more like an astral travel, I recommend one of two things. I would recommend doing a walking meditation because it forces you, like if you're walking in a park or even just in your living room, feeling what the carpet feels like underneath your bare feet, feeling what the muscles in your legs feel like. If you're focused on how your body is moving and what you feel, you're still getting the benefit of the mindfulness practice of meditation, but you're less likely to go off and travel or go into a deep sleep. So if for anyone who can't walk or chooses not to walk, you can do the same thing with flowing arm movements and just feel what it feels to roll your wrists. Or if you like to lift weights in your chair, you can do that with lifting weights. I would do it slowly so you can be mindful on it. And then obviously, again, there's the mindful eating. Any one of those practices help us to stay in that present moment. Yeah. Nida, I'm glad you, yes, legs. Yep. Oh, Jen, thank you so much. For anybody who's looking to reach out to me, you can reach me here on Facebook. I'm Devin Evans, Psychic Medium. I also am devinevans.com and Divine Medium on Instagram, spelled Devine Medium. That's all I have for you tonight on meditation. I do hope to do a meditation review in practice, and at the very least, a guided meditation every third Thursday of the month. So we'll be back here in 4 weeks in January after the first of the year for more meditations that are guided. And if you guys practice between now and then and you want to bring up questions, you can always reach out to me or feel free to ask them during the show. And if there's a meditation that you've heard of that you would like to be guided in, let me know. I'm always taking suggestions. So, and thank you again. Thank you so much, Jen. So, tomorrow night, please tune back in. Greg Koss is going to be here with the Shadow Hour. It's going to be a fantastic show. Thank you so much, Greg. I was a guest on his show last week. I had such a great time. In any of our replays you can find on YouTube under Psychics Unite. And you can find all of our show replays there between Sharon, Oracle cards with Sharon on Tuesdays, Scotty Talks on Wednesdays, my show Truth Bumps tonight, or the Shadow Hour on Friday. So we are hoping that everyone helps us share the news of the YouTube channel because we will be posting additional new information there. And we have plans to grow it out exponentially. But in order to do that, we really do need some more subscribers to be able to get some of the benefits that we get at the different tiers within YouTube. So if you would please, there are 2 channels that I'd like you to consider checking out and sharing with your friends. That's Psychics Unite. And then that's also the Shadow Hunters Paranormal Investigation and Events YouTube channel. Both are just a few away from milestones that are needed to be able to take it to the next level and continue to bring you fantastic free content, such as Truth Bumps. So next week is Christmas week. We are off. I will not see you next week. So I wish everyone a very happy, a very safe and Merry Christmas and happy holidays. And I wanted to tell everyone that I will return on 12/31 with an amazing show. I have the pleasure of having as my guest the fantastic Jen Hudson. And together, we are going to share with you how to build a New Year's Eve intention setting ritual that will be personal and super meaningful to you. So please make sure that you return on 12/31. Jen's going to be my guest. She's literally like my sister from another life, and I'm so excited to have her on. It's going to be fantastic. Just two beautiful women who love to cuss like sailors. So I'm really looking forward to it. And then, I mean, what a great topic too on New Year's Eve on how to really get your intention set for the next year. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm ready to do the show now. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I am so blessed to have the honor of sharing this information with you tonight. Let me know what your thoughts are. If there's anything more that I can do for you, I love you all. Please have a wonderful night and happy meditating. Goodbye.